Welcome back, everybody. You all here know me, Raquel de Hoyos, and Divas and Dudes at Home. Thanks for joining us today. It is a kind of gray, gloomy Saturday, but you all are in for a treat today because we are in week 2 of our series, Summertime and the Eating is Easy. So hope you all had a good 4th of July. Did anybody make that watermelon salad from last week? It was delicious. I know. I was kind of eating some extra leftovers from last week over the weekend too. So my AC, happy to report, my AC is fixed. It feels like the Arctic in my house again. I am happy for that. So welcome everybody. This week we've got kind of another summery recipe. Kind of my sort of spin on a potato salad, right? Because anytime in the summer you're grilling out, you're going to potluck parties or whatever, kind of the classic is potato salad as the side dish. You can get it at the grocery store. Anybody here have a favorite potato salad recipe? Maybe a family one that they make? Yeah? Okay, so what's in it? What do you put in it in yours?
Very simple: potato, eggs, olives, pickles.
Oh, olives. Okay.
And it's a hit every single time I make it, and it's my mom's recipe.
Oh, okay. Olives. That's a good one. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah.
It's very simple. It's just bacon, egg, and green onions.
Oh, okay.
And kind of the secret to any of my potato salads is to let the cube of chicken bouillon on the boiling water, just like it.
Yeah.
Flavor.
Yes. And so one of the things, that's a great point. Potatoes, you can use different kinds of potatoes for potato salad. You could use a regular russet. Those are great for just your classic potato salad. They are a little more starchier. Today we're going to be using these baby golden yellow ones. I like these because they're a little more waxy, and so when you boil them, they hold up a little better. And when you're mixing everything together at the end, they just sort of hold their shape. Also, they just have a great texture because they are a little more waxier. But you could use a regular russet potato for this too. So my mother's classic potato salad is similar to yours, but it has a lot of great, just like yellow mustard, it has the eggs, it has celery, a little bit of pickle, and she likes to throw in, I don't even know if you all can get, and yeah, you can still find it. It's like that sandwich spread mayonnaise kind of stuff. So she'll use mayonnaise too, but she'll throw a little of that in there too, and that's kind of her secret. Every time she makes it, it's a hit. When I make it, I don't always put the sandwich spread in there because it kind of grosses me out actually. But it's basically like mayonnaise with seasoning and pickle or relish or something in there. So I just have to get past that. Anyhow, I thought that we could do something in this potato salad that is kind of lightening it up, obviously adding some nutritional value, but giving it kind of sort of a Latin twist. And so what I've done is this poblano potato salad. So recipes have been sent out to you. My apologies that you don't have them in front of you, but I'm going to walk you through what the ingredients are, and then some things I have done in advance because this is a recipe that you could actually enjoy warm, but the dressing for it is made with yogurt. So you could probably do it either way. I prefer it cold, so having it chilled. You all will, I have some samples made up already. I'm going to ask for a volunteer or two to help me pass those out when we get to that point. And then we'll have some leftover from what I make today. But let's dive in. And so for this poblano potato salad, oh, my apologies, I forgot how many servings it makes. It makes about 6-ish servings, maybe a little bit more if you only do a small portion. It's pretty decadent, I think. I would say one of the things that I mentioned to Rosie as she was walking out was, I think this could benefit from some crumbled bacon on top. But again, we're watching, our nutrition, and if some of you have sensitivities or you need to watch your sodium, I want to be mindful of that. So did not put the bacon on it today. Welcome. So for this, we've used 3 pounds of baby potatoes. You could use the red ones too. That would be just fine. 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 poblano pepper is the beginning of this recipe. So what I've done is I've added the potatoes to, or how I cook these was I put them in a large stock pot, added 1 teaspoon of salt, and then covered them with water, a lid, brought it to a boil. Once it's boiling, put it down to like medium, just let them slow simmer for about 25 minutes until you can kind of slip a knife in there and they're beautifully tender. Kind of similar to what Dorian mentioned, like you can infuse as they're cooking. You use the bouillon. I just put some salt in there. That's the same thing with any kind of potato or any actually vegetable that you boil. If you want to kind of get some more flavor into there as they're cooking, just add a little bit of salt, some stock, and that will help increase and boost the flavor. So for the dressing, it does actually, the poblano does not go in the dressing, but you could do that. I wanted to kind of have some chunks in the potato salad. So we're going to dice this up. But basically what I did was I just charred it. And so last week we were talking about charring corn. If you had a gas grill, did anybody try that? Not yet. Okay. But that's the same thing that I did with this poblano pepper. So just gave it a quick rinse, put it on my gas range, and just kind of kept turning it as it continued to get that beautiful kind of char on it. And then I just rinsed it off because I don't want all of that on there, but I want the flavor of that. And so there's a little bit on there you can see. I'm going to take off the stem and take out the seeds. Poblanos are one of my favorite peppers because they have great flavor. So every once in a while you get one that's pretty spicy. The one I think that I put in the sample had a little kick to it, but the seeds have been taken out, so that helps. But usually it's mostly just kind of great flavor. So we're going to do that. And then for the dressing, we have 1.5 cups of Greek yogurt, just plain. Originally I used the H-E-B one, but they did not have it yesterday when I went to get the ingredients. So I'm going to use this one, which I also love this brand. This is a lactose-free one, which I've tasted before, and it's great. It's just a nice, thick, plain Greek yogurt. So instead of a mayonnaise, which you could also use if you didn't want to use yogurt, or maybe if you have some dairy sensitivities, you could do that too. The other thing we're going to add to just really kind of give it a good burst of flavor is the juice of 3 limes, a little bit of cilantro. So I've just kind of washed this up. We're just going to take off the stems in a bit here and throw that into our container to blend it up. And then for the seasoning, we're just going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then a teaspoon of salt. And so that'll all get blended up to become the dressing, which we'll pour over. I'm going to chop these up in a little bit. And then we'll garnish with some chives, because chives and potatoes are kind of like a happy pair, right? You always see that when you go out to a restaurant and they give you the baked potato chive, right? So I always think about like what things kind of classically go together. And so this is kind of how I've built this recipe. But as you see, there's not a lot of ingredients to this. And again, like I was saying last week, we want to, in the summer, make sure that we're still having great recipes, with great flavor, good nutritional value as much as you can pack into there, but things that don't take a lot of time and heat up your kitchen. So really the only thing was I kind of did this, boiled these potatoes, but that's pretty much it. So let's dive into it. So for the potatoes, some of these are a little big, so I might quarter them. But these have already been cooked, and I wanted them to be nice and cold for class today. But as you can see, when I chop them, see how nice they still keep their shape? And keep the skin on. You don't have to, peel it. That's extra fiber for us, right? And we want that. Fibers.
When you cook them, do you like poke a hole in them or anything like that to
Nope.
boil them?
Nope. I just, like I said, I covered them with water and added a little bit of salt, so about a teaspoon of salt. And then brought it to a boil. And once it was at a good boil, I turned it down to about a nice medium simmer, still with the lid on, and just set a timer for about 25 minutes, and they're perfectly cooked.
Okay.
So, yep. So what other fun things have you all been enjoying this summer as far as food stuff? Anybody cook anything else over the 4th of July? What was on the menu, or did you go somewhere and enjoy something that was really delicious?
Deviled eggs was
Deviled eggs are a fun one. Yeah, I actually did one year when I worked for a potato commission, red, white, and blue deviled eggs, mostly red and blue, and they were kind of fun. So I did kind of like a classic potato salad filling. But then I dyed with food coloring the eggs, and so they were a lot of fun. But yes, deviled eggs. That's so funny. My mom just made some recently too.
And that's what I was thinking with the poblano, to
add that to the deviled egg.
Mm-hmm. You certainly, yep, you certainly could. Poblano really is kind of nice to add anything. I think of, so in the fall, you'll see around here hatch chilies that come from, right, like New Mexico. Similar profile. You know, you've got kind of that nice charred flavor. They can be either really hot or mild. I usually go for the mild because the hot ones are too hot for me. I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to heat. But yeah, so you could do like a nice chowder and put some of those in there, like dice them up and have maybe, really it does need the bacon. You need sort of the salty and the kind of smoky, I think. But I know Ruthie always likes to ask me, like, what could you use if you didn't want to do that? What do you guys think? If you didn't want bacon, what would be a good alternative? What would be a good?
Does it have to be salty?
I think it needs to be sort of like that flavor, something, yeah.
I was thinking of smoked paprika.
Smoked paprika is a good one, yeah.
Crushed almonds, maybe?
Which one?
Crushed almonds?
Oh, crushed almonds. Oh, that would be good, because then you could toast them and get a little bit of that kind of nuttiness in there, saltiness.
There is a barbecue place downtown. I don't remember the name of it, but they have macaroni, but it's poblano macaroni.
Oh, it's Reese Brothers. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that it is really good. It is really good. I've had it, and their barbecue is delicious. And they're super friendly there. You guys should check it out if you haven't. It's really good. Reese Brothers, yes. They also make a really good pina colada there too. Just FYI. Just FYI, it's pina colada time. Okay, so I've just kind of chopped these up a little bit. I like my potato salad to kind of have some heft to it, right? So, I mean, if you wanted it a little bit smaller, more bite-sized, you could cut all the pieces into quarters, but I kind of like the look of that. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up this poblano. And like I said, I'm just going to take off the stem, and hopefully it's not going to be too spicy. We'll see. Last time that jalapeno got me, and I had to kind of walk off camera for a minute. We'll see. So far, so good. I can smell it's got a little bit of something going on. It's the seeds. Yeah.
How long did you take to kind of fry that or darken it?
Yeah, probably no more than like 10 minutes, even less maybe.
All the way around?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing two, so I did the one that I used for the samples that are already ready to go, and then I did this one for today. Ooh, I can smell that. It's got a great flavor. It's almost like if you were to take a green bell pepper and then add a jalapeno to it. But I like it because it's just, yeah, great flavor. So I'm going to just dice this kind of small. Smells so good. And then we'll add this to the potatoes. And when you're doing something like this potato salad, like I mentioned, the potatoes hold their shape pretty well, but I try to be a little delicate when I'm mixing the dressing in, just, so I don't crush anything. So try to dice this up a little bit on the smaller side. There's going to be a few seeds in there. Hope you guys like a little bit of spice, right? Yeah, okay. It's not super spicy.
You do now.
You do now. So, poblano pepper. You could use jalapenos also if you wanted to, and just do the same thing. Pop them on a grill, char them up a little bit. I was trying to think of things. Do you guys do a lot of grilling in the summer? Any of you?
With my
Too hot.
George Foreman.
Yeah, that works
That's
too.
grilling for me, honestly.
Yeah, I used to do that too. I had a little. It wasn't a George Foreman, but it was similar.
Right.
And yeah, it is kind of hot. So usually, especially after last week with no AC, I was kind of over it with the heat. It's like the last place I want to be is outside right now. Plus, the mosquitoes have been terrible this summer. I don't know about you, but I have just been getting. They usually find me, and this year they have been just going to town because.
Mosquitoes?
Yes.
Oh, it's because it's rain.
We've had so
the
much.
last 4 years we haven't had much rain.
I know-
so you
well,
really
yeah.
didn't have 'em.
Yeah, it's been pretty awful.
You know, how do you know how to choose a pepper? So what makes it as ripe as you want it before you go and charbroil it?
Oh, well, for this one, I always like to get a larger one and a flatter one because you'll notice like they come in different sizes. Like the average poblano's maybe like that long. I like the really long, kind of skinnier ones because as I'm charring them, they get the more surface is able to kind of hit the
More
the
contact.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. If they've got kind of like all these sort of ridges and stuff, then you either have to cut it in half and kind of watch it and turn it. It takes longer. That's a great question. For anything like bell peppers, I'm not a fan of green bell peppers. Actually, they're my least favorite. The only time I will use them is when I make chili. I don't like the flavor they give me. Like I'm always like burping them.
Yeah.
But red bell peppers and yellow, I am totally cool with. I will use them in everything when I can. So, and those, you just kind of look for, make sure they're firm, that they don't have any, like kind of like weird spots on them, that they're not wrinkled or mushy. But that's a good way to
I've
look.
heard if you see, the bumps that they have, if you pick the one with the 4 bumps, because some
Oh.
have 3, they're much sweeter.
Ah,
And I think
okay.
that if it's 3 or 4, one's the female and one's the male, so I don't know which.
I did not know that. You guys are teaching me something today. So the bumps on the, okay, I'm gonna look for that next time.
Well,
So the
you
more
have to ask
bumps,
that too.
the sweeter.
How
Okay,
you pick sweeter.
all right, good to know.
Where are the bumps? On the
On
bottom.
the top. Oh, that's
On
what I
the
call
bottom.
where the stem is.
Yeah.
Well, you can try in the bottom.
The bottom,
Yeah, where the stem is.
steps up
Yeah.
here.
See, you guys teach me stuff too all the time. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna move us on to our dressing. I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit. So we're gonna start with 1.5 cups of this yogurt. Just make sure I get to the very bottom. This is really nice yogurt. I think it has just a clean flavor.
Is that plain or like a
Yep,
vanilla?
Nope, it's just a plain. They make flavored ones too. Actually, for my lunches, they have like a little smaller version that has like different fruit flavors that you can mix into it, and those are really good. So I've been kind of eating those all summer. I am so excited that I can eat dairy again because for many years could not. But your body changes, and that's actually one of the nice things. Of all the things that my body is going through, I'm appreciative of being able to eat dairy again, because we need protein, and so this is a way to get protein into a dish that you wouldn't typically find protein in, right? Because we're adding this yogurt, so that is kind of a sneaky way to to help your family eat a little healthier. Okay, so I'm gonna I could have measured it in there, but I can't see the line so well anymore on this cup, so I went this way instead. I used to have a cup for this blender, but I could not find it this morning, but this is the perfect size also. And I will also say, we're trying to kind of minimize dishes and whatnot. We don't want to be inside doing any of that kind of stuff in the summer. We want to be outside enjoying it as much as we can in the cool, right? Or being somewhere where there's water, pool maybe. But yeah, so I have a blender that I use, but if I'm just doing a small little thing like this, I find that a stick blender or an immersion blender, like I have here, does the job really well. And if you take good care of it, the blade will stay nice and sharp. And so this is another kind of time-saving, sort of easy thing. They don't cost very much. I've had this one, it's a KitchenAid, for, probably more than 10 years, and it's held up really well. So this is my kind of go-to when I need something just kind of quick blitz together, as they say. So what I'm gonna add in there for a little, just to kind of loosen up that yogurt, is 3 limes, the juice of 3 limes. And I'm gonna try not to squeeze any into my eye. They're pretty juicy. Although I had to really dig through the bin to find the bigger ones.
Now, how do you get the juiciest ones? Is there anything, the color that you look at, or the ends of them?
You see how this has kind of like a smooth surface,
Yeah,
and this one's got a little more bumps.
right.
The ones with the smoother, I think, have more juice.
Okay.
That's always what my mom taught me, and it's checked out. It's validated. Yeah, I just try to find the bigger ones right now. You know, they're always like 4 for $1,
Right.
but sometimes they're super tiny, and I was finding a lot of those. I really kind of had to go through the bin and pick and kind of toss a few around before I found these. But yeah, if you're gonna have some lime juice, have some lime juice. You know, and these are pretty. Yeah, as you can see, you know, I kind of do it on both sides just to get all of the good juice out. This is such a nice, like I said, clean, refreshing dressing. You could kind of use it on anything, actually. I thought about that afterwards. I was like, you know, if you put the poblano in there, this would be like a great dip, or maybe a base for like if you made, you could do something fun like take pita bread and warm it up or toast it on just the stovetop, and then spread some of that on it and add maybe some nice tomatoes from your garden, or just, you know, something simple, some olives, maybe some pickles, and just kind of cut it up and make like little appetizers. It's kind of like if you guys have been to a Greek restaurant, they have that tzatziki sauce
Yes.
with the cucumbers and the dill. It's a yogurt-based thing, so that's always going to be a win if you can have yogurt. You can also do like the non-dairy stuff. I got a little tired of that because I was noticing the quality was changing. They were becoming a little too watery, even the ones that were saying that they were like the high protein, sort of like the version of Greek yogurt. They weren't doing it for me anymore, so I stopped buying them, and I was like, let me see if I can actually eat real yogurt again, and I can. So
Why
that
don't
was,
you do what they do, like Arabic or Mediterranean, where you would just put the non-dairy stuff, put it in like a cheesecloth and just let it drip some.
you
Then
could.
You wouldn't have all that extra fluid. Like let it do it for part of a day when you're like staying at home.
Yeah, you could.
That would get rid of the fluid.
You totally could, and then you could make your own soft cheese with that.
Right.
Yeah, very good. That's a great idea. Okay, I'm going to add our seasoning, which again is 1 teaspoon of cumin. So kind of pairing sort of those Latin flavors, right, with our ingredients. Uh-oh, something's going on out there. And then 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. You could also use fresh garlic in here, but I find that that's almost a little too strong for me, so I just did garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon of that black pepper, and then 1 teaspoon of salt.
If you used white pepper, would that like make it less Latina?
Well, black pepper is kind of across the board. White pepper, you know, anytime I've used white pepper, I feel like I've only used it in like more kind of like fancier dishes. Like when I worked in a restaurant, we would do white pepper in our mashed potatoes just because we didn't want the black specks. And I told you the story about what went into our mashed potatoes at the restaurant. It was just like loads of butter and heavy cream, and they were whipped, and they were just delicious. But yeah, we would always use white pepper in those.
I use that in crock pot cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, white pepper is, I mean, it's got the same kind of like, I think, flavor as this is just white. But yeah, you could use that too, for sure. Okay, what did I forget, ladies? Nothing. Cilantro. Okay, cilantro. I'm just going to take off the stems. You could add them, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to today. Well, maybe a few will go in there, but I'm going to blend this first, and then I'll add the cilantro in next, just to kind of give my blender a little bit of a head start. Oh, hold on. There we go. Let's turn on the gas. There we go. Okay, so you could even just do that. If you're not a fan of cilantro, which I know some people aren't, you could just make that your dressing, because I think that's alone, just like that, is pretty delicious. But I'm going to do like about a half at a time of the cilantro. It's turning that nice, beautiful green color. And then we're going to just add the last of that. Okay, and that's it. Super easy. The lime juice, I think if you did not want to add that, you could just do a straight white vinegar because you do need some kind of tanginess, right? Some kind of acid in there for that. You could use lemon juice also, but I just feel like lime and poblano and everything else we got going on here just seemed to make sense. So I kind of went with that. But we have this beautiful dressing, and yeah, I mean, this would make a great dip for carrots, you know, if you have some veggies. Yeah, if you had, you know, your bell peppers or whatever you like to kind of have as like a little charcuterie, you could do that. So to our potatoes and our diced poblano, we're just gonna, that's gonna go at the end.
Oh, that's it,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
That's our garnish. Yep, that is our garnish. You could throw some of it in the dressing too, but if you didn't want to use chives, green onions, just like scallions, would also be a great substitute. I had to pick through quite a few of the containers of chives at H-E-B, and actually at the first store I was like, these are terrible. So I did not buy them, and I went to a different H-E-B and found some. So that's a thing too, when you're buying, if you're gonna use fresh herbs, find the best ones, because sometimes I think the stores don't expect people to cook with fresh herbs, and so they forget to check the quality of them. And if I have enough patience and time, I will say, hey, these aren't great. Do you have any more in the back? Because if I'm going to pay $2.50 for a container of fresh herbs, I want it to be worth $2.50. So look at that. That's beautiful color, right? I'm going to give this a quick mix, and then I'll throw in the chives. I'll chop those up. But I'm just kind of like if you were to do a cake that needs to be really gentle, right? Like I'm just kind of folding it, yes. Was that a thing? Did anybody ever watch that show, Schitt's Creek? Right, I'm folding in the cheese. What do you mean folding in the cheese? How do you do that? Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. We'll take our chives here. And, you know, they usually, like this one looks a little limp, so we're not going to use that. I picked out most of the other ones, but these all look pretty good. They're nice, and they're basically small little onions, right? But you want to make sure there's not any that are kind of mushy or slimy. Make sure you get your money's worth, because everything's so expensive now.
Now, what if you use dried instead of fresh?
Totally
Would
could
you
do
use
that.
the same amount or less, or what would you do?
So with dried herbs, their flavor is definitely, well, depending on how long you've had them in your cabinet too. They can be pretty concentrated, so start with a little, give that a, you know, try, and if you're like, yeah, it's not enough, to add some more. That's kind of my rule of thumb. I try not to keep a lot of spices longer than, you know, like 3 months, but I cook pretty frequently, so I have kind of my common ones that I tend to run through, and whenever I'm at stores that have bulk sections, I just kind of refill my containers. So, I mean, there are some specialty spices that I have in my spice cabinet that I try to work into other recipes, so I go through them, but sometimes they sit in my cabinet. Like, I was in Boston for work back in March, and I went to, if you all ever go to Boston, please go visit. It's at a mall, but it's a place called Italy, and it was so amazing. They had all these different, basically Italian, like there was food that you could order or purchase. So they had like a little sandwich place, they had a gelato place, they had a place where you could kind of take home meals, but then they also had like groceries, and they had beautiful stuff, all these Italian things, and they.
Flavor.
So think of like the spiciest cinnamon that you've ever had. Like there's different kinds, and there's one that's very like pungent. There's one that's a little bit more like when you use it in baking, it's got kind of more of that sweeter profile. But the one that's got a little more punch and spiciness, that's my favorite kind of cinnamon. It's like that, but then kind of like a smokiness of like a paprika. So it's definitely something I don't know that I would use in like a sweet application. I don't know if I would use it for baking, although I suppose you could.
Maybe a bread, but not a cookie.
But not a cookie. I mean, unless you were being really creative. Some people have kind of mixed things like that. It works. But sometimes when I make like chicken breast, I'll just throw a bunch of spices in there with a little oil and garlic or whatever. But I've been adding that to it, and it's amazing. So, yeah. If all else fails when you're traveling and you're like, I don't have a lot of room in my suitcase, always look for a spice store. That's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, this looks amazing, smells amazing. And if you wanted to, I mean, we already have some salt in here, but you could add another sprinkle of salt and black pepper just to kind of finish it off. I'm gonna leave it as is because I know it's delicious and I want you guys to try it. So that is pretty much it. So not super difficult, right? Has some great nutritional value with the fiber from the potatoes. And then the poblano, we got a little bit of heat, but also another vegetable, technically a fruit because it's got seeds. And then the yogurt. The yogurt is really kind of the biggest thing, is instead of using a mayonnaise, which would work just as well, we've packed in some protein and some dairy through the yogurt as the dressing. So if I can get a volunteer to help me pass out some of this so you guys can try this, that would be great. And then, okay, I will show you what I have.
Where did you find, can you find smoked cinnamon here in San Antonio?
Maybe Central Market, maybe Whole Foods.
Whole Foods?
Yeah. So I have some ready to go, and then there's forks there, and then if anybody wants to take some, we'll have this here too. I really want to try that.
That would be, that's what I was saying.
Which place?
World Market.
Oh, World, yeah, what is it, Cost Plus World Market? Is there one here?
There's one at Blanco and, 410.
Oh, okay, yeah, that might be another spot, you guys. Did you hear that? Cost Plus World Market? Yeah, maybe. Give it a try, I haven't looked. It was kind of a rare thing, that's what caught my eye. I was like, oh, I've never heard of smoked cinnamon, let me give it a try, and it's so good. So good. All right, yes. Okay, so I have some that have already kind of been chilled, so they've had some time to kind of like marinate, right? This will be great just like this too. But we'll pass them around. And then while we're doing that, I'm gonna talk a little bit about our nutrition. Okay, and you all tell me if it needs bacon, because I think it does. There's just something about potatoes for me that always kind of have to have.
When you use your bacon, which one do you prefer? The hickory?
I like to find the thick cut, yeah, kind of like hickory. My favorite brand, I think you can find it here, but it's really expensive. Hempler's. Hempler's thick cut.
That's good stuff.
It's really good stuff. Yeah, but it's pricey. But HEB does a kind of a good version, and then there's a local company that does a similar. I don't know if it's the Kielbasa brand, but anything thick cut bacon, or if you just if your budget just wants simple bacon, like just get the stuff that's not super fatty. That's more of the actual meat and the smokiness. The other thing you could try. There is something that you can find at the grocery store called liquid smoke, and I use it periodically. Yeah, I use it periodically to add to chili, and it's basically like a liquid. Yeah, good. It's like yeah. This is one where I don't know if you made it, if it would last for seconds. Yeah, but the bacon, right? Like I think it needs some kind of texture, crunchiness, saltiness. But toasted almonds, even like if you got a smoky almond and kind of like crushed them up and put them on top, that would be good too. I think that would give you the texture if you couldn't do bacon. I have to watch my sodium, so.
Something that people will add to potato salad is spam.
Spam. Oh, okay. Well, the salty, yeah, and it's like ham, so that could work. Yeah, that totally could work. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about fiber. I know we've talked about fiber in the past, but that's something that I think in the summer is a little easier to do because we're reaching for things that are a little bit lighter, not as heavy, right? And so think of all your fruits and vegetables. So adding fruits and veggies into your summertime meals not only makes for lighter dishes, often with a more fresher and in-season flavor, but it also provides a healthy dose of fiber to keep us feeling full longer and also to keep things working, to keep things moving, right? If we're not moving physically, things can kind of get jammed up there. So we want to make sure that we're eating the foods that kind of keep things flowing. So here's a couple ideas that you can try for some quick summer meals. If you are grilling or you're George Foreman, you can make your grill do double duty and add just a mix of your favorite vegetables and also fruits. Has anybody here tried like grilled pineapple or grilled peaches? That's also delicious.
My friends used to grill watermelon.
Yeah, you can grill watermelon, you can grill cantaloupe. Any of that would be great because I think it draws out the sugar, the sweetness of it. Yeah.
I don't really like watermelon texture, but
Ah.
that I can eat.
Okay.
I've heard people grilling avocado.
Yes.
I have not tried it myself.
You should. It's
Now, would
delicious.
you get it not as right? You're gonna grill
Yeah,
it?
you want one that's maybe just kind of firm. Yeah, yeah. But it is really good. And then you can actually grill lettuces too. So like a romaine, a head of romaine. I have had in several places that I've eaten grilled romaine, like a Caesar salad. And so they take the whole head of romaine, cut it in half, sprinkle a little oil, salt, and pepper, and just place that right on the grill until you get some good grill marks on it. And it just kind of adds more of that grill flavor, if you like that, which I think kind of makes the salad taste a little different, tasty.
What about Swiss chard though? Would you really want to grill that? Because that's kind of a summer flavor for salads, but I don't know if you want to grill it.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a delicate, so I don't know if I'd try that. But think of sort of more, like I don't know if you could do iceberg. That might be kind of tricky because it's got so much, like the water content is a little high. But you can grill a watermelon, so I don't know. Experiment, see what happens. Let's see. So grilled head of romaine with a light vinaigrette and a dusting of Parmesan can introduce new bold flavors to a simple summer salad. So try that next time. Speaking of peppers, so if you grill peppers and onions and blend them into a creamy sauce or a dressing to go over your proteins or blend it into grains for an extra boost of flavor, that's another idea. So we were talking about peppers, just like throw things on the grill, or if you have a gas range, or if you turn on your oven with the broiler for a few seconds, throw it on a baking sheet. Like you're going to get those flavors. For many years, I lived in apartments, and I had to be really creative with the tools that I had. And so I have tried everything. If you have one of those torches, like those kitchen torches, the chef friend of mine, that's how I know about the grilled avocado. He was teaching classes out of his tiny little apartment. And he's like, have you ever tried grilled avocado? I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. And he just took a torch to it and just like, it was delicious. And I had never thought about doing that to an avocado. So there you go. Let's see what else. So you can use the leaves of various greens to make wraps. So this is, I love this. I've seen this in different ways. So you can lightly blanch, say like collard greens or Swiss chard. So just put them lightly into some hot water until they kind of turn that bright green color, and then just run them under some cold water. But then it kind of softens the leaf, and you can use it to kind of like to wrap. So if any of you have ever had like spring rolls or dolmades, those grape leaf things, basically anything that you would put into those, do with these leaves of your dark greens. Because dark leafy greens have lots of great nutritional value, and so that's a nice way to kind of incorporate them. You could do like seasoned rice, lentils, some chopped or pickled vegetables, and just stuff those and roll them up. And that's kind of nice, like almost picnic food too. I always like things that you can kind of eat with your hands. I'm kind of weird that way, I think, but it's fun because you don't have to pack a lot of utensils, just like things that are easy to go. So fiber. Think fiber. And as women, also, we need a lot of fiber in our diet. I have to remind myself as well, but these are some easy ways to do it so that you're also not feeling like, I think a lot of times people think fiber is going to make me feel so full and so bloated. try lighter things and try little portions at a time until your body adapts. That's really the key. I think anytime that people have, even myself, have said, you need more fiber, I'm like, oh God, like oatmeal, ugh, I have like this gut bomb kind of sensation and I just feel terrible. But as you kind of slowly introduce these things, your body will adapt and you'll actually start to feel better because you're going to feel full longer because these foods have that property of just making you feel more like full, right? Like you're not reaching for something, you're not eating something that quickly gets absorbed into your system and then you're hungry again like 20 minutes later. Okay, so let's move on to resistant starch. So we do have some starch, right? Some carbs from the potatoes, but there is something called resistant starch, and that's a complex carbohydrate that resists digestion, but that's actually a good thing for your gut. So since it's not broken down into glucose, it has a lower impact on your blood sugar than regular starch, and as it ferments in the colon, it acts as a prebiotic, which is helping to nourish the healthy gut microbes in your gut, which we have to feed them, right? We have to keep those healthy bacteria in our gut happy. And so reach for these resistant starches next time to give your gut a boost. On there is cooked and cooled starches like potatoes and pasta and rice. White beans and lentils are also on the list. Whole grains like barley, oats, and brown rice, and green bananas or plantains. So I think a lot of times, our last series was about like carbs and sort of trying to make sure that people feel comfortable introducing some carbs into their diet. Maybe you can't for dietary reasons, but I think we do need the fuel from the carbs, and it's choosing the ones that work for our bodies the best. But these are some guidelines for finding some to incorporate, and I think, beans are always a great go-to. They, again, help us feel full, but they're a wonderful carb to introduce to our diet if we can. And you can cook them in many ways. They're affordable. You can get them canned if you don't want to cook them from dry, things like that. Oats, I always think of like oats or any grains that you would have for breakfast. I have been actually since Boston like a big fan of steel-cut oats, and they take, I think, a little bit longer to cook. But I just love the texture of them because it's almost like if you like chia seeds, they have kind of like, they pop kind of like, right? There's something about steel cut oats that just have good texture for me. But I do love oatmeal too. Okay, and then lastly, think about sort of some better for you barbecue sides, right? So when you're going to, or you're having these summer gatherings, think about some sides that might be a little bit lighter, but also providing some more nutrition for you. So we want easy, right? When it comes to summer cooking, nobody's got time to be in the kitchen all day. And there's no shame in picking up the deli macaroni or the potato salad at H-E-B or wherever that goes with that side of smoked brisket. But it's also easy to lighten the load in both calories and sodium by trying a couple of these things. So you look at trying sides that emphasize vinaigrette dressings. So maybe not sort of heavier, creamier dressings, although you could do something like this because this is really good for you. Packing protein by substituting yogurt instead of mayo like we did today. And then quick blanching summer veggies such as green beans or zucchini, and then just tossing those in a simple dressing of like olive oil, salt, and pepper. I really am about texture, and so like this potato salad has a lot going on for me. It's got the nice like bite of the potato because they're not falling apart. They've got still good form, but then you've got the creaminess of that dressing. I do think it needs the bacon or something crunchy, but it's got a lot of things going for me, and that's kind of what I look for in a recipe, whether I'm going to be making it for people or when I go and like we had a potluck for somebody that I used to work with earlier in the week, and everybody brought something. And the thing that I really enjoyed the most next to the pizza was somebody had made a pasta salad, and it had so many good things in it. And at first I was like, it looks a little dry. But when I tried it, it had all these good flavors and textures, and I was like, that's pretty good. So think about that too as you're kind of putting things out on the table for people as you're kind of entertaining this summer, or just for yourself. It's not just the way that it looks, but it has to have all these different components. And the most important one is what is it doing for us nutritionally, right? Like making sure that you're trying to kind of put some things throughout your day that provide some protein, a little bit of healthy grains, some fiber, some healthy fats. You want a little bit of that. A simple vinaigrette with oil, avocado oil is great, olive oil is great, and just salt and pepper. A little squeeze of lemon on fresh veggies or grilled veggies is perfect. Try to lighten the food in the summer because we don't want to get bogged down with kind of heavier foods. I don't know, with the heat here and everything that's going on, like I always feel like summertime our metabolisms are a little bit different and we're just kind of craving and naturally gravitating towards things that are a little bit lighter. So thumbs up on the potato salad today? Yeah. 5 thumbs up. Fantastic. I was sweating it a little bit because I was like, I really feel like it's missing something, but I don't have time to tweak it anymore. So I'm just going to do this. And really, I want to keep it simple. But is there anything that you all would have done differently with this recipe?
And I was just thinking adding pumpkin seeds to it.
Oh, there you go. That would be.
Pumpkin seeds.
That would be great.
Because you were looking for the toastiness, a little hearty.
That would be great.
What could you do instead, like a substitute for the bacon, which would have been really good, but somebody who's vegan, vegetarian?
Yeah, I kind of
not
like.
a nut.
Oh, not a
It
nut.
would have to
Okay.
be something other than nut.
What about maybe green onion instead of chive, so it has like a little bit of more fun?
You could grill some green onion, yeah, and then that way it has kind of that charred flavor, but a little bit of
But
sweetness.
I'm allergic to onions.
Oh,
so-
onion. Okay, no onion. Okay, dang it. What could you do
So
that
I'm
would
not trying
be?
to make it easy on you.
No, I know. I love your questions because it really makes me think about.
I mean,
What do
could
I
you
have
do
in my
something with
arsenal?
Tofu that would get crunchy or not really?
If you
know,
did
put
tempeh,
something on it.
tempeh is a little bit drier, and you could maybe. It's not my favorite thing, yeah, but you could try it. You could sometimes you can find marinated tofu that's kind of like already it's like a
Or
firmer.
Like a crumble or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you could do that with it. That actually would be good. You can find it usually where they sell tofu. It's more like they've sucked the moisture out of it, so it's like this flat cake, and it's usually like it has a smoky flavor, and you could just crumble that on top. That
Could you
would be
add
good.
feta to it? When she said
You
crumbly?
could do cheese. Yeah, you could do some kind of maybe like a smoked cheese would be good if you could find that. Maybe throw it into the dressing so you get the smoky flavor in the dressing instead. But the texture, yeah.
Do they make mini croutons?
Yeah, you could do some croutons. Actually, that's a great idea. Just get some if you can do gluten. Just find some kind of simple French bread, toast it up. We did. Do you guys remember the salad that we did where I toasted the bread and then I made that into the dressing with like herbs and whatever? Like you could do something like that and put that over it.
Like a sourdough or what kind of white bread?
Just
or
like a
wheat
French
or-
bread or
French bread.
sourdough would be
Just
good.
French, okay.
Sourdough would be good because that's more flavor too.
Your ciabatta.
Ciabatta,
Ciabatta would be good.
focaccia.
Yeah.
I've been eating and seeing a lot of focaccia. That's really good too. But yeah, all sorts of pistachios might also be good to kind of go with the green. Toast those up and throw some on top. But I like the pumpkin seeds or even roasted sunflower seeds would be good too. Yeah.
I think I would like this on top of roasted cauliflower.
Yeah. The dressing. I mean, that dressing alone, you can put that on anything. Seriously. I'm thinking now about like making a pizza that would have that. And then I don't know what else, but it's really good. And if you guys can't find this, even just the plain one of this brand, there's something about this yogurt that's just, it's got a great clean taste. It makes my gut happy. Like I don't have any issues with it. Yeah. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the recipe. We are going to wrap it up for July with our final recipe next Saturday, which is a dessert. So stay tuned. All right. Thank you.